Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Days Podcast along with a new video. So I wanted to do a new video and episode talking about Janet's album, Janet. So this is her fifth album, and I want you guys to know doing the Velvet Rope commentary was needed, and I'm happy that I was able to do it because I want to be able to piece in more, just be able to bring more to light on this legendary artist that we have here. So, like and subscribe, share, and as far as with Patreon, I will be doing deep dives on different topics. I will make sure that you guys get the notification once you guys follow. It is currently free. Of course, once I'm able to have a few deep dives going, you'll see there's a price. But again, I truly appreciate all of the views and all of the love, and thank you guys so much for being there with me through it all. So let's get into it. So, yes, Janet was released today, May 18th, 1993. So, it was a transition, not even just from the aesthetic, where she was in life, but also business. And rightfully so. You want to get your money's worth. Like, I'm really out here making sure y'all get this pure art, okay? And I feel like, where the timing was, where it was recorded starting in the fall of 92, and the recording was done by the winter of 93. So you say to yourself, and we can talk about poetic justice here too, because this is that era, this is that time. So you're saying to yourself, you have a new record deal, you're working on a new movie, your first movie, damn near, pretty much. Yeah, first movie. Well, first movie that is damn, like, box office type, like, going off movie. And just, she, like, this is her second album where she's more open with herself since the album that came out first 10 years ago. And that is an album I actually do want to talk about too, the Janet Jackson album. For those that are over 40 years old, why did you sleep on that album? It's not even whether promo or not. Why did you sleep on that album? But Janet herself had said from the releases of where, she was coming from previously into Control, she said, I had to keep going. And I don't blame her, because yes, perseverance is real, and you really get what you manifest. A great deal out of it. And she said it, a great deal. It's been a great deal. And yes, its title read Janet Period is meant to disassociate her public image from her family, dropping her surname. An R&B record. It has pop, hip hop, soul, funk, rock, house, jazz, and opera. And it just stepped out more because in the early 90s, there is that sense of, we're bearing a little bit more skin, we're being more, sexual, and it's safe though, okay? Listen, because those times, you had to be, and still to this day, like I said. there was so much going on still with crime and all these other things, which she had already talked about. So in this album, she wanted to be a bit more relatable, rightfully so, because she was and still is to this day, and that's the one of the biggest things that an artist wants to make sure they do throughout time is remain relatable. I can talk about this, but I still am this. I can talk about this, but I still am this. That it's very much important. And so Janet became the singer's third consecutive album to top the Billboard 200 and her first to debut at #1. Yes. And yes, it set a record for the highest first week sales for a female artist at that time, and has sold an estimated 14 million worldwide. And just wow. And then Janet remains one of only 7 albums in history to produce 6 top 10 hits on the US 100, including the #1 singles "That's the Way Love Goes" and "Again." MTV sponsored Janet World Tour supporting the album received critical acclaim for Jackson's elaborate stage performances, reinforcing her reputation as one of the preeminent artists of the MTV generation. And this was the moment where she cemented herself as an international icon and sex symbol. And the thing about it is, in that time, and I'll look at the singles as we go too, because "That's the Way Love Goes" was April 20th, 1993. Sorry. And "If" came out that summer. Like a couple months after the album dropped, you got "If," like that summer. And "Again's" by the fall, which is perfect because it's like, it's getting cold. "Because of Love" was early '94. And "Anytime, Any Place" was May 11th, 1994. "Throb" came out June 18th, 1994. So she still was heavily promoting Janet from 94 to pretty much 95. And I was right there with her, because when "Thrive" came out, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm about a month old. What's going on? Not to say that it wasn't already out, but I'm saying like just airwaves and just, this is Janet's song, "Thrive." Like, just, okay. You want this, even that fall. I was a cute baby. I think we all were damn near cute babies. But yes, like I said, the background of the album: rumors of a multi-million-dollar bidding war over Jackson's recording contract began to circulate in '91. So pretty much, from the success of Rhythm Nation, which we will talk about, Rhythm Nation 1814, she was really like, they wanted to work with her so much. They were like, oh my God, like, what else are you gonna do? What do you want to talk about now? And she had to decide what was best. And when it came to music videos, like the music videos, when it came to "That's the Way Love Goes," you're seeing her just be, just chilling, like, and and then with "If," choreography down, the break dance when it comes to just she was letting people know I dance and I sing and I do acting as well with this all, and again, very nice ballad, very beautiful ballad. "Because of Love," that's an underrated song. "Anytime, Any Place," everyone loves that song. Everyone knows that song. "Throb," like I said, let's just go through the track list. Let's do that. But like I said, hopefully we'll see more of the Janet World Tour, like as far as like visuals, because I don't get to really see a lot of it. But just the reception was good. They a lot. Well, to be honest with you, they the public was realizing like she's really in charge. Like we felt like she was in charge in Rhythm Nation. No, she's really in charge. Like she's out. Like she's really giving us, like she's giving it to us. Um, and has a Grammy. Yes, one best R&B song. So, like I said, this was a legendary, it still is a legendary album. Happy anniversary. Um, yeah, so going through the track list, like I did with The Velvet Rope, you have Morning. Yeah, I love how it begins because it's very like soothing and I think, to be honest with you, you just don't hear that often. A lot of times, albums they just go right into the single, like, all right, this is what I know. We here, but she was like, no, I need to talk with y'all, get y'all into the single that y'all know, which was the next song. That's the way love goes, and then there's so there was a few interludes in here, and I'm glad that they were, because it was telling a story that even she may now feel, and I'm sure she may have already said, that need to be told. Like I am human. I am someone that would want to explore things that the average person may be shy to do, but because I'm a public figure, it's almost an obligation. I have to set a tone for my artistry, not anyone else's, and whoever else's, because like I said with Aaliyah, there were whispers. Like there were people in the industry that may have said a lot of things, different things, and even in past interviews when she's being compared to her sibling or siblings, it's like, come on, what do I got to do for y'all to know I'm Janet? I don't want to say Janet Jackson. I'm Janet. Okay, and this was it. So when you get, and then you want this, it's like, okay, she's Janet. And then it's like, be a good boy. It's like, all right, no, she's really Janet. Wait a minute. If, and then when she says, I'm giving you back, it's almost like a reverse, sequence here. Because this time is letting someone know, like, I'm done. Like, get the hell out of here. I'm moving on. You run around with these nasty hoes. Like she was letting people know, like, I'm pissed. This time I'm not gonna be here and deal with this no more. And honestly, she took it a step further when it came to The Velvet Rope. Is when you're hearing What About? So connecting that video to this one. It's just it's true. It's something when you can be able to just know, when I do it one way, it can be done another way, but then even make more impact, because it's not just because it's how I'm doing it, but also because I'm making it more aware that this is not okay. So go on, Miss Janet. That's the interlude, pretty much going into Throb. And Throb, you're sitting back and it's like, well, wait a minute now. Even though it's 4.5 minutes, she's saying a lot here. It's getting a little hot. But, she wanted the public to know that being open with who you are is okay. At such an early time for it. Especially with women. Because there was only so many ways it was seen with women in possibly a group, or there wasn't so much, let me bear something. And we're not saying anything was completely bared here. We're saying that we're seeing it in a variety of ways. That is completely buried. So, if that makes sense to y'all, because there were things that she still was keeping to herself through this album as well, and rightfully so. What'll I do? Like, that's, you know, letting people know, like, listen, I love this person, and I miss them, and they need to know, and I need to find a way to get to them somehow, some way. The Lounge, I think, is a nice interlude to get into Funky Big Band, which is also underrated, and I feel as though y'all slept on that song. That could have had a nice video, and I would have loved that. I can just see her just being in like the city and just doing random shopping to that song, and then you just got this whole like band just following her around, and she's like, why are they following me? One thing is, you guys and me. That would have been amazing. I think Michael would have been like, what? She need to call me. We can talk. But anyway, yeah, when it came to the racism interlude, in a world filled with racism, get well soon, and that's a real deal, because it's ridiculous now. To me, everyone wants equal ways of living, but doesn't want to accept an equal way to being seen or known. I don't know. It's odd, but we all have to come together at some point. We have to, and be better people. Which is why it's called New Agenda. She said, "I stand tall with pride." You know, it was a serious deal then, where people was really wanting to get their money's worth. They wanted to work. They wanted to make sure things were right for their families, and it just wasn't always like that. You know, even when you look at the Poetic Justice video, where it was showing, like, you know, different senses of neighborhoods, and money can go here, and you got to make sure money is there in other ways, and car may work one day and not work the next. Oh, I've been there. Things may work, and things happen, and you know, because of love, where you have the love part 2 interlude going into because of love, it's, you know, a sense of wanting that type of peace, and just wanting to just kind of just vibe out, and just, all right, we going through some tough times, but we out here, we doing it. And wind is just, you know, calming you down to get into again, where, you know, you love somebody and you may have not been able to be with them, or things are not working out right now, but then you're kind of saying to yourself, you know what, if I were to be back with you, you know, I may not deny it, because I may feel like I need to be back with you again, and that's what the song's about. And it stems even deeper, where it's together again. You know, it's like, okay, well, you know, we got together again, and even, you know, with just the way that transitions. So like I said, when you look into the history, it's not like she's not bringing out more of certain things that she's already done. It's just more of a sense that, hey, you know, this is where I am now in my life. Another Lover, I think this was her feeling at a time where, even though we didn't know certain things was going on with relationships for her, she felt she'd be alone. But in hindsight, she's never alone. She has her family, and she has her Issa. So, as far as with Where Are You Now, yeah, wanting to be able to, again, have someone back. And I love that song. That's underrated too. Yeah, no, y'all slept on Where Are You Now? That's actually slept on. Hold On Baby. That's more, getting into just, so that was the sequence that she would do throughout most of her albums. By the end of the album, we slowing down, we getting a bit, naughty or a bit sensual, and it was okay then and still now. Shoot, um, there needs to be some type of balance. As far as the song "The Body That Loves You," that's definitely a song that's slept on. Y'all tried it. Um, yeah, that could have been a video, because when I think of "The Body That Loves You," that's more of to me, when you hear that song and you listen to Every Time, it's almost like the understanding that I am, wanting and loving and needing this person. And then Every Time comes in and it's like, well, shoot, I had a great time with them, and I'm not with them no more. And I don't know if this will work out too, So she definitely, wrote her life and story throughout these albums here. With Rain being the next interlude, and then going into Anytime, Any Place. I don't want to stop just because, she lets you know she very much was wanting people to understand that being open didn't have to come off to the public completely as a way that, you're easy. Like, no, this is with my man. This is with someone I'm in love with. I claim them. And then when it's all over with, when it comes to all these different themes coming together, there's Are You Still Up? And Are You Still Up is, over a minute long of just, honestly, to me, it's like a fuse of everything that you kind of heard, and you're just kind of just sitting back and you're kind of like, wow, that was beautiful to me, and so when it goes down into Sweet Dreams, that the album's over. And it's a similar effect to when you have Rhythm Nation, where living in a world in complete darkness, she says, "Don't let your eyes deceive you," dun, and then it's just, that's it. No one heard nothing else from '89 to '93. That was 4 years worth. Whether you got to see her on tour, that was it. So when you come back and it's morning, and it's like, one thing can make love, and then she just comes right into That's the Way Love Goes. It's like, oh, okay, she's back. I can, and then when I look at that, it is a relief. It's like, okay, she's back, like, and it was the same ordeal with the Velvet Rope transitioning from this album, because it was another 4 years. And so when you have the Velvet Rope, from this album coming in saying it's my belief, it's like, well, wait a minute. We ain't even talking about Morning No More. When you put the album on, it's whatever time you're listening to this. We all have the need to feel special. I don't care what time it is. Okay, and that's how you knew the evolution kept going, and still is. Okay, and so yeah, Are You Still Up? Definitely. Sometimes it puts a little tear in my eyes, but and does make me shed a few, because it really does resonate with time over time, where you're like, I'm young, but I won't always be. I'm doing things with people, but life happens and life is short, and we have to always cherish every moment. And I felt like that's what she was able to even convey going into All For You, which I'll talk about. But the bonus track, similar to the Velvet Rope, which also has a bonus track, was Whoops Now. So when you hear Sweet Dreams and you're kind of sitting there and you're kind of, well, this is back in the day, you're looking at your CD player or you're looking at your, CD machine, however. You're just looking at your cassette and you're saying to yourself, it's still playing. And then you hear people talking. You're like, wait a minute now. Janet's it's still going. So the Whoops Now is her letting people know, like, I'm getting out. I'm enjoying myself. I'm happy. And it's also maybe even an Easter egg to just saying, I'm going on tour. You're going to see me soon. Because she definitely was in Massachusetts. And I was too young to be in the audience, of course, but I would have wanted to go. I definitely would have wanted to go to the Velvet Rope tour. See, she was here before she went to New York and did Madison Square Garden. I had looked that up. I said, well, wait a minute. She was here first and then did that? I know I was 4, but maybe I could have been in the audience. Like, I did see kids in the audience when, listen, I seen kids in the audience in that footage. I would have wanted to go. Oh, yes. Just like, even if it was just like, I don't know. But there was a lot of people in Madison Square Garden, I tell you. And they said the tickets were like, and they weren't expensive, I wouldn't say, but I seen 75. So, trying to make sure you get to your seat in such a big stadium like that. My stadium's big too, but either way, like I said, just the album had also a limited edition where there was a bonus disc with remixes, and then there was also a video compilation where there was That's the Way Love Goes, If, Again, Anytime, Any Place, You Want This, and yeah, as far as what did I want to say? There was also, because I want to make sure I say this in this video. Where is it? Yes, there is the Janet remix. So I'm 2 in 1. Let's do it. So there's the Janet remix where, we also have On and On. I love that song. Y'all slept on that song. 70s Love Groove is a great song too. But there's remixes on here. And this was in the midst of where the album pretty much was doing really well. And, it was right before Scream was coming out. But she wanted to have, more songs to be able to give to us. And y'all slept on them. Like, seriously, like, I don't know why On and On don't get played from time to time. Like, that's a great song. I don't want nobody else. Like, no, come on. But it segued away for Design of a Decade. And, quite honestly, I wanted to talk about this separately. Yes, and I will, because there's a whole sense of being able to talk about the singles themselves, the track lists and everything like that, and the way that I want to be able to talk about each album when it coincides to this one. So when we talk about Rhythm Nation and Control, we will get back to this, because we've already talked about Velvet Rope, and we're currently pretty much done with talking about Janet, period. So by all means, I want to say thank you guys so much for this time, and I'm very grateful, and I will be back with more.